How long does it take to feel better after you quit smoking weed or quit using nicotine or overcome a substance use disorder? That was a question that someone asked me the other day during a live call on our YouTube channel. And I told the person that's an extremely dangerous question to ask, but it's also a very loaded question to answer. The reason why it's a dangerous question is because a lot of times the response you're going to get when it comes to how long is it going to take until I feel better quitting weed or whatever it is probably somewhere between 30 to 90 days, okay? And then you could read into addiction recovery a bit further, and you're going to see that it takes the brain up to a full year to really heal and recover. And this is why that's a dangerous question to ask, because a lot of people are going to say, oh my gosh, 90 days, that's a lifetime. Oh my gosh, a year, that's a lifetime. And I'm not saying it's going to be a year of withdrawals. I'm not saying it's going to be 90 days of insomnia and cravings. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, the initial detox and withdrawal, probably 90 days. Full brain recovery, a year. The problem is, though, if you're saying, oh my God, a year, 90 days, I could never do something for that long, that's a bad mindset to be in. And I was once in that mindset myself. That was some of the rot, the subconscious rot that was created by cannabis addiction for me. The fact that I thought at one point in my life, 30 days, 90 days, 365 days was a long time terrifies me. Because when I think about how long it's taken me to build a healthy relationship with my wife, when I think about how long it's taken me to build this YouTube channel, right? 5, 6, 7 years later, thousands of videos on quitting cannabis and weed later, and I'm just starting to get noticed in this industry, in this space. If I think about how long it's taken me to build my cash brick and mortar chiropractic offices, 11 years, 90 days is nothing. To commit to something for 30 to 90 days is nothing. To commit to something for a year is nothing. And I understand it can seem like a lot if you're really going through it. And trust me, I was really going through it. I had CHS, I had psychosis, I had really nasty withdrawal symptoms. I was really going through it. Family at the time going through a horrible divorce. I get it. But 90 days, 30 days, if you're thinking you're not capable of committing to something for that amount of time, this is a side effect of addiction. This is a side effect of cannabis consumption when you have a substance use disorder. And that mindset can screw up your business, it can screw up your relationship, it can screw up your physical health, your mental health, your spiritual health, it can screw up your finances. The idea that 30 to 90 days to a year is a long time should not seem like a long time. Because if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an individual who has a lot of big goals, who wants to accomplish a lot of big things, you shouldn't be asking the question of how long is it going to take. The question should be what do I need to do to get this done? Sorry to interrupt, but real quick, we've officially opened up the wait list for the one-on-one addiction exit protocol, and you can find the link for that in the video description. You go through, click the link, fill out the form, and then you'll be entered into a private Telegram group where I'll talk to you a little bit more. Honestly, don't delay. We can only help so many people, and seats are filling up quickly. So fill out that form, link in the video description. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of today's video. To answer the question, though, about weed withdrawal and how long does it take, maybe what really brought you guys here is I'd say it's, up to 90 days to go through the withdrawal and detox process, okay? And one of the things that I encourage people to do, we have a channel sponsor, Exploro. They make a 3-level urine THC test kit, is test at home, because that way you can actually track and hold yourself accountable to your THC detox process, but it will also show you how long, you can literally track how long it's taking you to clear THC from your body. And like I said, some people, that's 90 to 120 days. Now, in most cases, in 90 to 120 days, people are going to start to feel better. They're going to be making their own endocannabinoids again. They're going to be rebalancing their dopamine levels again in their brain and the other neurochemicals. They're going to start to feel an improvement. Now, when I say a year to feel better, what I'm really referencing in is it takes about a year to go through the different highs and lows and the different experiences that you're going to go through in life and sober in order to get used to doing those things sober. So I think it's like a year of going to like holiday parties and experiencing a gain in life, experiencing a loss in life, experiencing a celebratory event, experiencing a sad event. It's like, in my opinion, it takes a year for your brain to go through each of those things sober to become reacclimated with each of those things, right? So that's why I say it takes a year, okay? And I know there's brain scans out there that they do on people that also show that it takes about a year for all the new pathways to lay down. 90 days is pretty accepted for new habit development and new pattern recognition when it comes to habits. That's why I say 90 days is such a landmark time. But now that question that person asked was even more dangerous because they're asking, how long until I feel better? Well, how do you define better, right? Because if you're asking me, how long was it until I wasn't suffering from cannabinoid hyperemesis syndrome, acute cannabis withdrawal symptoms, and an acute state of psychosis, well, I got through that relatively quickly, okay? And I arguably felt better. But I didn't feel great. I didn't have my finances fixed. I didn't have my relationships fixed. I didn't have my business fixed. I wasn't even dating at the time. I wasn't married with a family, a goal that I had. So that question is so tough to answer because it's also dependent upon how do you define better? You quit smoking weed because you have X, Y, and Z goals. You have X, Y, and Z things that you want to accomplish. But those things might take a really long time. Like I said, shoot, I'm still trying to figure out how to get to the level of entrepreneurship that I want. I've come an incredibly long way. You look at my private practices, social media channels, supplement company that we have. Crazy how much we've accomplished over the years. But I'm still figuring stuff out. You're talking about, being a good husband, being a good father. I learn every day on that stuff. Okay? So some of this stuff doesn't the purpose of my sobriety was to better relationships, better finances, better physical health, better mental health. There is no end game to that. And in my opinion, there's always going to be level for improvement. So what is better? Better is better than I did yesterday. How long does it take to feel better than you did yesterday? It takes 24 hours if you're making appropriate decisions and making the right choices. So dangerous question for lots of reasons. It's a good question. It's a question that I had when I was getting into sobriety. But unless someone gives you proper expectations, like I'm trying to do in this video, it can really screw you up. Because if I had just came out and said, oh, it takes 2 weeks to make your own endocannabinoids again and 30 days to rebalance dopamine, and the person left that call thinking, oh, 2 weeks, 30 days, now I'm going to feel quote unquote better, and I don't even know what better is to them, then and they don't feel better after the arbitrary timeline I provided them on some live call, then guess what? Chances are they're going to choose to going back to using the drug again, right? So having proper expectations, having proper understanding of what it is you're actually trying to achieve by getting sober, because chances are it has very little to do with stopping the drug itself, can make the sobriety and quitting process 1,000 times easier, and it can make you 1,000 times more successful. I have the supplement Kick It Crave Less chewing gum, okay? It's a chewing gum that I specifically formulated to help with cannabis withdrawal and nicotine withdrawal and stimulant withdrawal and alcohol withdrawal. It contains KSM 66 ashwagandha and N-acetylcysteine to help reduce stress and anxiety, increase a person's tolerance for both physical and psychological stress, and at the same time, using N-acetylcysteine, reduce cravings and reduce symptoms of brain fog. Kick It Crave Less chewing gum. Incredible product. Again, links in the video description. Until next time.